What's going on, guys? So we're back again with another gameplay video. This time we have Teikken here on the left playing Kefla Surge, and we have Tim here on the right playing Gamma 1 and 2. So just before they get started into the gameplay video, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, teamcardtita. So if you guys want any DBS serial products or DBS singles, make sure you check out that link in the description below. Now, Kefla Surge, Teikken loves this deck, loves U6, always trying to make it work, which I really respect. It's a really fun deck. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have much energy manipulation, but we've had some great new cards in the form of blue-yellow that is U6, and that includes the promo Kefla, plus the new super combo, which is really, really nice. And then you've got Gamma here on the right, which is one of the new archetypes. Really, really powerful deck. I just think it's just amazing in what it does. Obviously, being able to untap 3 energy pretty much at the end of turn just means you can just go for a big boss monster and then untap at the end of turn and just get real value that way, which is absolutely perfect. I think initially I was thinking the restriction of only being able to use androids would hurt it, but there's just so many androids out there now that really means that it can do such a great job. And the fact that you can play things out of energy as well is just amazing. The new Unison is incredible too. Really, really powerful, that Unison. Being able to get the free combos and everything like that going is just so good. I really, really enjoy this deck. Now, Teikken obviously played for free, drew 2, bottom deck 1. Tim just got a charge, swing, and a draw, so not too much going on. He's got to establish a hit Unison though, turn 2, which is quite nice for him. And now this is like a threat, right? So there's always the potential that he gets flipped to his front side and then doesn't get to awaken, which can be quite painful, especially if he gets quite a lot of, a lot of things on the board. Can cause a lot of issues, right? So we are going to free play the Frost here. Now, Frost is a top searcher as well for a U6. And the great thing, as I said, is the introduction of this new super combo. He can grab the super combos potentially if he finds one. Looks like we found 3 of the new promo, which is quite nice. Now, for those of you that don't know what the new promo does as well, what it is a 19k, has barrier once per turn. So when it's in rest mode, if your opponent swings into your leader, you get to tap one of their energy down, which is really strong. So pretty much what they have to do is deal with this card first before attacking the leader, if possible, right? So sometimes you're going to just force it to happen, and that's fine, but definitely puts the opponent in an awkward situation while also taking a bit of pressure off the leader too, which is really nice. And I think that's something this deck wants, right? Because this deck, if it goes a little bit longer, it gets a little bit more value throughout the course of the game. But we'll see how it kind of all pans out if he does establish one. And you do play it for just a blue and a yellow, as long as your leader is a U6, I'm pretty sure. So it's really nice there. We are going to go for the effect of the Beerus to bottom deck the Kefla, because you do get to hit it 2 or less, which is really nice. Just one less threat that's coming through. Plus, we've got the nice draw engine going with the Unison here. Tim going straight into his Unison. Hopefully having something to discard so he can get his combo going, because he does need to get the markers on it just here. Doesn't get to do the combo, so he just gets the marker, which is kind of sad. But obviously, having that every turn is just incredible. We are going to go for our Awaken, taking down to 6, untapping 1, drawing 1. So getting quite a lot of cards in hand here as well, which is really, really nice. Could be worth as well just putting a bit of pressure into this hit Unison. I think it's definitely worth just clearing that off the board, because it does take away Kefla's draw power a little bit as well. Plus you take away that threat. So we are going to just block that, because I assume that one was going into the Unison just there. So we're just going to block that. I don't think we protect it. I think you just leave it. Let it happen. I don't think it's worth protecting it. It's just a blocker. It's kind of what it's there for. We are going to discard. So now we've got our combo going, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. So having that Android 14 and 15 in our drop area means that we've got the free combo here. So now our leader or our Unison is going to be a 20k on the first swing, which means that Teikken's going to have to combo up to get damage through, which means that he's taxing his hand a little bit if he wishes, unless he starts swinging with some 20ks, which I don't believe there are too many, unfortunately. And this card as well does have the limit 1, so he can't discard again, right? But now he does have the potential if he wants to play out this Android 18 just here, right? Obviously, any responses first but we are going to play, so we are just going to do the counterplay. He can choose just not to play it out, right? So he can just leave it there in the energy and say, I just won't play anything. So we're going to leave it there in energy. Not worth losing it right now, I don't think. It's better just to leave it there because we need the 3 for next turn. So Gamma only works if you can pick up 3 of the androids from your energy. If you can't pick up the 3, it doesn't work because it does say pick up 3. It's not up to. So that means that you do have to run a decent amount of androids, which there are so many good ones out now that it's very easy to do so. So I think they've done a really good job with this leader. So passing back over to Teikken, charging one of the Dimension Magics, we are going to uptick to draw 1. Looks like we're going to play a blue and a yellow. So I would assume this is to go into the promo Kefla, which is really nice. Again, this card is a 19. What's probably worth here is swinging the leader in to get that combo out of the way, right? Just swing in for the 10, get the combo out of the way, the plus, and then you start swinging with other things, right? So that's when you start swinging with the 19s and the 15. So Tim does have to start using cards from hand to get around it, right? So let's see where he decides to go for here. Hopefully he does realize that that's a good little option there rather than swinging with a 19 and then having to let Tim combo out of it for free, plus getting a marker. But let's see what he goes for. So it looks like we may swing the 19 first. So I'd say swing the 10 on the leader, get the combo out of the way, and then start swinging and start trying to tax a little bit. So it looks like we're just going to swing 15, maybe not. Yep, looks like we're going to swing 15 into unison. Again, unison to unison, we get the combo, right? So we get the free combo here, which means we get to combo the 5k and then taking it to 20k. So we do have that little bit of protection just here, right? I think he's still going to go for it. Tim probably explained that to him, that it's going to happen. Looks like he's still going to go for it anyway, taking it to 15. We do get our combo, of course, taking it up to 20 and getting a marker. Because it is the order of the card on the first attack. Right, he does have a choice if he wants to combo. He can take it to 20, take a marker back down off it. But at the end of the day, he does have the marker. It's very hard to try to take markers off this unison. It looks like it's very likely they're going to keep having a decent amount. But if you can control it so they don't get their plus or their -4 really easily, it's not bad here. So we're going to take that just to 15, it looks like. Taking another marker off. Passing the turn. So this is where Tim now gets to untap his 3 energy, and this is where the deck kind of becomes incredible, I think. Just the fact that you can start tapping out fully and then just getting benefit by being able to, I guess, replace things is really, really nice. So looks like we're putting a 17 or maybe a cell. Doesn't really matter. We can obviously pick it back up and put something back in there. We do have to put at least 1 down. I would assume here what we probably do is we do play out the dual attack 17 and 18 this turn just to clear either the unison or clear that Kefla off the board. I think it's definitely worth going for something like that. So 19k just here. We do get a free combo, so we get guarantee being a 20k just here, right? So I think we probably, swing in our 15 into 19. Looks like we're going to negate here, which is fine. That's fine to do. And then we do get our free combo anyway, get our marker. Obviously, it doesn't do anything, unfortunately, because it's negated, but it's still triggered. We still get a marker, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want. Discard for top 5. I think we found a hatch there on the top, so unfortunately, we didn't get that in our hand, but it is what it is, right? I would assume here, though, we swing 15. The unison, we probably just start going for the unison at this point. I think it's on 4 markers. Very easy to be able to kind of control it enough that the minus isn't really available unless it kills itself, and I think that's worth it. So we're going out into the 20. Now, I believe this card has deflect, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly right, but I think it does have deflect. Looks like we're going to hit Champa on it though, so the auto does go for it. If it does have deflect, which I believe it does, we do get this card rested, which is really, really nice here for Teikken, right? Just being able to rest something like that is absolutely huge on the play because it is in the auto, right? But he still gets his auto effect to trigger, right? Unfortunately, doesn't ignore barrier. It would be ideal if it did ignore barrier, but still having access to it's good. He does get to bottom deck the 3 cost, but because I believe it is greater than or equal to the current energy, so he does get to bottom deck the Champa, right? So yeah, bottom deck, and then I'm pretty sure it comes in rested, not bottom deck. So I don't know why it's gone to the bottom of the deck. Not 100% there. What's going on? It should have just been rested, not bottom decked. So, but that's okay. Anyway, going to play into the Android 18. We're going to check top. Obviously, we put a unison in. We need to replace that with a red ribbon so we can pick up our 3 for this next turn, which we're going to grab our blue Topo, which is an amazing card as well. So nice to have a card like that in an Android for this deck, especially when you're getting 3 energy back, right? 3 energy back is just absolutely insane. Reminds me of old SS3 days. You tap out for a big bomb, 1 big play, and then you get to just defend as much as you want with that 3 energy. And blue has access to great extra cards that kind of don't count as your androids, right? So that's really, really nice. So it's just the android battle card you can't really use, which sucks a little bit. But at the same time, the fact that you can just defend, right? You can just defend with most of the android cards is just really good. But the fact that you have extra cards to untap as well just means that 3 energy just can go really, really far. So we are going to, I assume, swinging crit here because you only got to tap an energy down, right? We're tapped out now. So we're going to swing in a 15 to a 19. I think this just starts going either into unison or into leader, I think. But we're going to go for 25 and we're going to bottom deck a card in hand, which is unfortunate. Still have to bottom deck a card, but it looks like we may just let it go. Unfortunately, I think Energetic Kefla is going to the bottom of the deck, potentially. And we just probably let that die, because that's pretty big, 25 to 19. Unless we have something comfortable to combo out, it's not really worth it. Now, it's probably worth just swinging in a crit into the leader. It's not too bad to have a crit to Kefla. As I said, you're not drawing a hell of a lot. You're not getting many cards. So just denying them an extra resource is always worth it here. So I would assume Tim goes into the leader rather than going into the unison with the crit. I think it's definitely worth doing that here. But let's see what he decides to go for. Again, unison is a threat, though. It is rather frustrating. So it looks like we are going into leader. Looked like we went over the top of the unison. Just a 15 to a 10, unfortunately, hitting one of the negate Bardocks here. So, picking up 3, drawing a card, we get to put back 3. So blue-green, maybe a sell if we've got it. I believe it's red ribbons. I don't think it's androids. I'm pretty sure it's red ribbons. I can't remember exactly what it states. He's probably just checking that as well. I think it does say red ribbons. But either way, they're always going to be androids. So we're going to put down a sell, multi, and then an android. All things that we can play out from an energy, which is absolutely perfect for this deck. Next turn, I would say we probably hit a sell, right? Probably go for, if we find another unison, we tuck the unison, right? And then we are able to go for damage through that. So the other thing that Teikken might do is flip his leader this turn. There is a potential that he flips the leader this turn rather than going for just the draw. So that way next turn, if he does commit to the sell, he is tapped out, right? And then he is in a little bit of a worse situation. He doesn't just get to grab the 3 energy back. So let's see what he decides to go for. He can grab 1 though on the next turn, obviously with the Awaken, which is nice. But we are going to go 15, take it to a 20, right? And it looks like we're going to rival into a Kefla just here. So taking it to 20. I think 1 card left in hand on Teikken's side, which kind of sucks for him. Tim's got a decent grip going on. Obviously 20 to 20, taking it down to 3 markers just here, which isn't bad. And then the end of the battle, he gets the KO something. But he also rivaled Kefla, so we can just bottom deck with Kefla anyway, right? But yes, I believe it bottom decks with the yellow card as well, which is absolutely huge. He is going to go the effect, discard a Kefla, draw 2 cards. He's got dual attack, double strike. Gets to tap down a card as well, so you can tap down an energy just here. Which, yeah, not too bad to tap down a multicolor energy. Obviously, Tim isn't running the untapped blue-green super combo, but that is a card, right? So he potentially could have the blue-green super combo. So it could be worth just tapping down just the blue rather than both, right? So we're going to go effect of Kefla. We're going to play out something for free. Checking for a response. So we do have access to Android 18 as a counterplay just here, which is quite nice. We are going to draw 2 and we bottom deck 1. Probably that hit unison we bottom deck, right? Doesn't need to reveal, he just has a bottom deck, but obviously that card's chasing him around a little bit. Swinging in a double strike. We're going to go for the new topo, right, with this Android. Really, really nice here, and we are going to discard 1 for that effect as well. But really nice for us to be able to not have to deal with any more swings coming into our leader, right? Pretty much Teikken's going to pass. Didn't go for the minus there, which is kind of surprising. I think it could have been worth going for the minus just there to bottom deck, to flip the leader back to the front side. So that way he just loses a lot of value going into this next turn if he wants to tap out for a sell, right? So we are going to go untap everything, discarding Android 14 and 15, checking the top 5 once again. Tim's sitting at 6 as well, kind of comfortable. I think Teikken's sitting about 5 right now. Grabbing a multicolor, perfect to just put back down this next turn. Now, probably worth just starting to swing into the leader after we've played out the cell, right? So we just play out the cell. We swing into the leader quite easily. We bottom deck everything on the play as well, which is just absolutely amazing here. Teikken doesn't have access to a lot of energy, only the 1. We got to flip 1 back in, still got our 3. And we do get our bottom deck here, which is perfect as well. I don't think Kefla has barrier. I can't remember. Haven't played that card in a while, but we do get the bottom deck, and now we can swing, and we can be a 35k because of the effect of this unison. Hoping we have potentially another unison in hand here. And if Teikken does negate as well, he does have to bottom deck 1 card from hand, which is rather taxing. So we're going to go to 35, plussing a marker once again, taking this to 4. We are going to bean to take it to 15, and then we're going to take the damage, right? Because it does have the double strike. So I think now we're at 3. Rather scary situation to be in just here, though. Rather scary. So we do have access to another cell swing, which is another 30k double strike, which I think personally is just absolutely huge. Probably not going to combo out on Teikken's side. I think you just leave it and force him to use cards from hand if he wishes to. Yep, going down to 1 just here. Rather scary. We swing in with our Android. I believe it's 14. I can't remember exactly. I think it's 14. I can never remember which numbers these two are. But we are going to swing in another 15k into leader, which is kind of perfect. We do have our Awakened Surge, so we can put 2 cards underneath the leader and draw 4 cards just here, right? But at the same time, we're not in the best of situations. We are a 20 now, which is great, but we do also have to combo most of our hand for any big swings coming through, which is rather scary. So Tim may not be able to close it out this turn, just because Teikken's obviously regassed the hand quite a lot. He has got another 2 back. Surprising we didn't go unison to unison and then leader to unison, and just take a few markers off it. I think that's probably worth it at this point rather than going into the leader because we don't want a combo. But we are going to pick up our 3 androids just here. So 1, 2, 3, putting back 1 multi, 1 17, and then hopefully another cell, right? That's kind of what we want, is another cell in our energy. Or if we have another in hand, we can just put it down next. But we did grab the multi blue-green just here, which is not bad at all. So Teikken's turn now. Regas the hand quite a lot. Does have access to 1 yellow. Probably wants to charge that Zamasu to have a 2nd yellow at this point. I think it's worth it just so you can play into the blue-yellow Kefla. So then if they swing, they have to bottom rest in energy, which is quite nice there for Teikken. Plus, he can obviously go into his Kefla as well. His arrival Kefla. I'm not too sure if he has another one or not in hand, but it'd be really nice if he did. Plus, he can kind of grab them back from the drop area as well, which is perfect with the leader effect, right? So he can grab them back with the leader effect if he wishes. Hopefully, Tim here finds another cell. So now he's just a dual attack 30k. But hopefully, Tim does find another cell that he can put in his energy next turn and then kind of play into that. But let's see what he goes for here, Teikken. Looks like, yeah, we got Kefla Super Combo and we got a Kefla Arrival in our drop. So we can probably grab the three of them back at the end of the turn. Or nope, so we're going for, looks like the bottom deck effect instead and then drawing a card. So rather than grabbing back, we're going to do the bottom deck effect here. It is just a dual attacker, which is nice, but a 30k is rather scary. It's quite a big attack coming through or into the leader. I would say Teikken here probably puts out the blue-yellow Kefla, the promo, just here. I think that's worth it. So then what we can do is we can force Tim to probably get rid of it unless he wants to tap down one energy, which at this point, being at 5 energy, his main play is 4 or 2 energy most of the time. So it's not the end of the world to tap 1 energy, but it means potentially 1 less swing for Teikken, right? So again, could do the minus here on the hit and flip the leader to its front side, right? There is that potential, but we'll see what he decides to go for here. So we are going to play the blue-yellow Kefla for a 19. I don't think it has deflect. If I remember right, I don't think it has deflect. And it is an energy cost of 5 as well. So it does technically get over the Android 18 counterplay as well, which is kind of perfect here for Teikken, right? 2 energy gets a 5 cost, gets over the top of the Android 18 counterplay, plus also has effect and has barrier as well, which is rather perfect for him just here. But he may decide to go for this Kefla here, which can definitely be hit. So he can play it for 2 and then draw some cards as well. But let's see what he decides to go for. Probably worth keeping some energy up for counterplays, plus an arrival Kefla if he had it. So we're going to swing 15 in. I'm assuming into leader here. We do get the effect once again, taking it up a marker, so we'll have 15 being 20, right? And this is it's irritating having it be a 20k pretty much every first swing. It's really nice. So we are going to combo a super combo, and then we're going to bottom deck, I believe, is what it does. We're going to bottom deck this Android, I want to say 14 again. Could be wrong. I think it's Android 14, but we're going to bottom deck him anyway, get him off the board for us. Now, we've got the 19k swing coming in here, losing a marker. So we're really not getting that dual attack this turn, unfortunately. Ideal thing is probably just to replace it with a Boo at this point, unless it stays at 3 markers and he has one that he can tuck underneath. So that way he can go for that. So we are going to tap an energy just here. Don't know if we're comboing or it's going to be a negate just here. Not 100%. Looks like we're going to combo. So Teikken has to discard 1 here. Rather annoying. I really like that Android 16 card. I think that card is awesome. Just the fact that you can combo it and make him discard as well is kind of perfect. So taking it to 20k, we do have to discard 1 from hand for the combo. Well, hopefully Tim realizes. Yeah, I think he has. I think he's remembered to discard 1 from hand on that combo, which is really nice for him as well. Teikken just figuring out what he's going to go to discard just here. He does have the Bardock Surge as well, the one that can be put underneath the leader for our Surge Awaken skill, and it is a negate, which is kind of perfect. But it looks like we're just going to pass turn 3 energy up. Shows that we have Kefla energy, which is rather scary as well. But also could be used as a bait too. So leaving up that energy can be used as a bait to kind of force your opponent to play bad in a way, right? Or try to play around that 3 energy. So we're going to put another energy in, not a cell, unfortunately, but we do have access here to the blue-green Android 17 and 18, right? Which It's not as good, I guess, as Cell, but it's still a 20k dual attack. And when you're at 1 life, 20k can be rather frustrating, right? So we are going to swing in 15 into the 19. Great thing here, as I said, is the fact that we do get that first initial combo. It's just absolutely insane. It's really, really nice that we get that. But Teikken is going to negate here, so he doesn't have to just combo out. So we do get a marker. I'm really, really hoping, right, that we have on the unison here, we have a unison to tuck underneath so we can swing a 25, but it doesn't look like we do, unfortunately. So we're just sitting at 4 markers still, so no minus here to the -4. We are going to tap 1 energy again for another Android 16. So just really going to tax this hand, right? So this is now a 20k. Discarding 1, and then if we want to combo out, we're comboing another card, right? Which is the Bardock, which is absolutely fine as well. Taking down to, I believe, 4 or 5 cards left in hand. Now, I'm assuming here we play into the Android 17 and 18, right? It does have Deflect, which is perfect too. And then that way, what we can do is we pay 2, play this out. We're not going to bottom block anything on the play, right? It does have Deflect, which is perfect for us, so there's no counterplay that can hit it. Plus, it's a 20k dual attack, so there's 2 attacks now going into this. Tim can choose if he wants to combo, just to tax a little bit more. Or, yeah, Teikken is going to let this die after one of the 2 swings, right? So let's see what Tim decides to go for. I think he's still got a decent amount of cards in hand. Teikken only at 4. No negates that I can see in the hand right now. So I think it looks like we're just going to leave it at 20. Surprising we didn't even just throw a 5k behind, take it to 25, force Teikken to combo 2 cards from his hand. So it looks like we're going to take it to a 24. We are just going to go into one of the Android 17s just here. So we're going to respond. We're just going to choose not to play anything out. And then we are going to go on the other one instead, right? Which is kind of perfect. So we're going to go for that, which is ideal. We are then going to grab ourselves a blue topo, right? Which is what I'll call it. Android 14, the blue topo, put that in the energy. We're going to pick that up very easily going into this next turn, because it just means we have another floodgate, which is kind of perfect, right? So I would assume here we swing in the 20 into the 19 once again, right? Looks like we're just going to go into the leader instead, because we've tapped out now. No harm not going into leader. Makes sense. So we are just going to take it to 25. We've got 2 cards left in hand just here, right? So taking it to 20, 25, just taking it to no cards in hand at all, right? Surprising Tim didn't go 1 more extra card, unless he's got some overwhelm or something like that that's coming out, but it doesn't look like we do. So surprising he didn't take it higher than 20, but maybe his hand's a bit chocked full of extra cards here. Good thing is he gets to pick up his 3 androids and just go again. So he's going to have this protection, right? And the great thing here is most decks would struggle with the tap out, right? But not Tim, because he gets to just pick up the 3 cards, put 3 cards back in, which I'm hoping that's not the only 3 cards he's got, so he can keep his blue topo. And that could be another reason he didn't combo too hard, but he could have closed out the game there. I don't know if he has to put 3 back down. I'm not 100%. Maybe he only has to put up to 3 back down. Not too sure with the Gamma Leader. Can't remember how it reads exactly off that, but if you can put down 2, that's pretty nice. And then he's just got access to the blue topo just here, right? So Teikken can once again go for the effect of Kefla to add cards back to hand, which is probably quite valuable here. Going into this next turn, I probably wouldn't charge, and I'd just get a Kefla, a super combo, and maybe another super combo if we've got something else like that, or a Zamar. So any of those are good cards to have, and just leave that energy up for protection here, right? So it looks like we're going to draw 8. So not worth playing a yellow, I don't think. I think it's probably just better to go for the 2 blues, draw 2 cards, and then as I said, at the end of the turn, grab grab what we need back from our drop area just here, right? So grab our 3 cards back from the drop, which would be a Zamasu, a Kefla, and then a super combo, I believe, is what we've got in there. I don't think we have 2 super combos. But that's quite nice to be able to pick them back up at the end of this turn. So that way we have a little bit of extra protection. Plus we have the threat of Kefla. And Kefla is huge. It means we can't go in on a battle card too hard, because it is just going to be bottom decked during the arrival phase, which kind of sucks. But Tim also has 6 life here. He's feeling pretty comfortable. I think he's in a very good position still, regardless. In a very, very good position. So we're going to swing in. We're going to make sure we swing with the Kefla first, right? We have to swing with the Kefla because we know that he picked up the blue Toplo from his energy. But we want to have Kefla in rest mode. Everything else doesn't matter if it's in rest mode. So we swing blue Kefla first, which is perfect. We obviously get the effect of the unison here if we, on the first swing, right? So we get the effect of the unison, taking it up to 20 and plussing a marker. It looks like we're going to go for the blue Topo negate this here, discarding a card. Yep, and then I'm assuming we get our combo and then plus a marker, right? Because it's on that first swing, even if it's negated, that auto disc triggers on the first attack. So we plus up a marker to 5 just there, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want. But now Teikken has to discard 2 cards if he wishes to swing at all, right? Which is absolutely huge here for him. So I'm assuming we could flip the leader back over, so then we don't have that protection going into the next turn, and then we're just a 10k, which means not a threat. But we do have the minus here. He does get a draw on that front side, which is quite nice. And he is a 1-1 leader when he awakens, so he can technically get it back the turn after. He can get a bit of energy back for some protection, or he just doesn't tap out this next turn, which is also a good choice because he has such cheap threats in his energy right now. So let's go for it. Let's see what happens. I'm assuming Teikken just has to pass turn here after he does the unison. I don't think he's going to go for anything else. Yep, so we're just going to draw 1, ticking up, and then we're going to grab our cards back from the drop area. So probably is a Masu, Kefla super combo, and then just a Kefla. Unless we got 2 super combos, yeah, which is perfect. So 2 Kefla super combos, and I know we discarded at least 1 of the Keflas. So I'm surprised we didn't pick that up because I know we discarded a Kefla off one of the ones earlier, but he may have charged that since then, but I don't think he has. I think that was the first charge of the whole game. So surprised that he didn't pick up that Kefla because he does have access to an ability to untap an energy as well this next turn. So he easily could have got the 3 energy back after negating and then gone into the Kefla, right? I think that's definitely better than the Zamasu. And I think he's just realized, he just remembered he was going to pick up Kefla, not picking up the Zamasu, because he did grab the super combos for it as well. So yeah, there we go, guys. So he did pick up the Kefla. He's just realized, yep, Kefla is definitely the better choice here. There is that threat now of having Kefla. So we're going to swing into, I'm not too sure where, probably leader here. But we do have to lose an energy if we do. But potentially we're going into leader, being a 25k. Plussing a marker. Now we've got access to something to be able to. So we are going to 20, 25, right? Probably worth it just going. Yeah, just going to 30. Yep. Okay, perfect. I was going to say, probably worth just going to 30 and then we keep that for later for another if he overextends on one swing. 25, rather annoying though. Quite frustrating. We do have to tap 1 energy down, and he is going to tap the multi, which makes sense, right? Because you do need a blue and a green to be able to play that out, which is quite nice for him. So swinging in 25 now, rather frustrating. So swinging a 20 again, beaning to untap that energy. So that's probably why he didn't really care about it tapping down, but that is a 25 now. We're going to take it to 35. And I think we're going to arrival just here. Looks like we're arrivaling. Now, it's probably worth just bottom decking something else. I think, yeah, it's worth bottom decking something else rather than bottom decking that. And now we do have access to a blocker as well on the board. And that's a really nice thing. But he's only got 1 card left in hand. does get to KO something after the battle, which is perfect. Oh, sorry, bottom deck something after the battle, which is perfect with that super combo. Now, I'm assuming we minus the 4. We probably should have just left the... That's it, yep. Should have just flipped the others to 2, and then we're good. So we are going to swing in a 25, negating that first attack. I'm assuming swinging in a 25 again. It's probably getting blocked. No negate, looks like here. Surprising. I thought he was going to go for the block at least here on this card. Unison's pretty safe, right? We are going to combo, probably going into the Beerus. We are going to bottom deck that, which is rather sad, right? And taking up to 35. Doing that to have to discard the last card from hand. Not bottom deck, but discard. But there we go, guys. There's no way we're protecting out of that. That's more than enough. So Gamma's going to take that one there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to subscribe. Hit that bell to stay notified. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.